Hello and welcome to this fire style session themed around the concept of commitment. Commitment to yourself and your practice in a way that best serves you. So as we know, in a fire style, we are holding postures a little longer. With the first round, we will take it a bit more traditionally, with rounds 2 and 3 through our sequences giving you options to maybe add a little extra fire in your body if it serves you on your mat today. No props are required. A block might be handy. When you are ready, I will meet you in a comfortable seated position. Have a great class. Starting today's practice in a seated posture that feels comfortable for you. With a long spine, we close down the eyes and begin to intently and deeply breathe in and out through the nose, feeling expansion in all directions possible, and every exhale breath inviting softness to land and wash over you. As you connect to these deep rhythms and movements of breath coming and going, observe what it is your body feels like today, ensuring that we are able to connect this practice to what we most need on our mats. We'll take 2 more breaths. Perhaps inviting your second breath to exit through the mouth, very generously and loudly sighing out what no longer serves you here in this moment. And then right away we start to move. Inhale to open the eyes, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, open the palms to cactus. Inhale again to reach up. Exhale, tap the hands to your knees, round in the spine. Again, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, arms open to cactus. Inhale to reach up. Exhale again to tap the fingers down. One more time at your own pace. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to open. Inhaling to reach up, exhaling to curve in the spine, transitioning our way next to tabletop, taking 3 rounds of cats and cows, using your inhale breaths to deeply drop the navel and your exhales to curve you up, tucking the chin in. Once complete, we leave the right arm where it is. Inhale, reach the left arm high. Take 2 big breaths. Using an exhale to weave the left arm underneath the right. Maybe you choose to lift the right arm up. Perhaps you find a bit of a twist. Right hand to the small of your back. A moment here to stretch into the left shoulder. An inhale brings us to center. Left hand stays, right arm lifts. Exhaling, your right arm weaves underneath, maybe your left arm lifts, and maybe it twists. Take a couple breaths. Feel the stretch. And then we'll inhale back to center and go through all of those movements one more time to warm up the body. Shifting back to your seat, with an inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, open up to cactus. Inhale again to lift and lengthen. Breathing out, tap the hands down, curve in the back. Inhales as you lift, exhales as you come to cactus and that tapping forward fold. Once those movements are complete, if it serves your body, transition to cats and cows. If something else would better warm you up here, giving yourself the space and permission to find what best serves your body. From cats and cows, again, the right arm stays, left arm lifts for this moment to feel open, shining the heart and torso towards the left side. Eventually, if it suits you, weaving the left arm under, maybe lifting the right arm up, finding a twist. With your next inhale, shifting back up and switching sides. Left arm is down, right arm is high. Again, shining the torso towards the side. before perhaps choosing to lower the right arm down, finding a stretch for the right shoulder. Inhaling back to center, where we take a moment to acknowledge and prepare into the wrists and feet. Maybe flipping one hand over and then the other, or maybe some other acknowledgement feels best for you today. Once you've taken a moment to notice those joints, toes will tuck and hips will lift high, coming to our first downward facing dog. We'll visit this pose often today. Ensure that the hands are spread wide and you are distributing weight evenly through all 10 fingers. Keep as much of a bend into the knees as necessary, thinking about sliding the navel closer towards the thighs. With your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg to three-legged dog. Hips are square, foot is flexed. Exhale to step the right foot all the way through to the top of your mat, coming to crescent or low lunge. Observe how this feels. Intently firing up into the left thigh, the left glute, and sinking as deep as you can with right knee tracking over the right ankle. From here, we draw hands to hips and start to transition to a variation of Warrior 3. With the torso and left leg parallel to the ground, keep a flexion into the left foot and remember to breathe. If that transition did not feel best in your body, consider next time using your hands for support. Taking one more breath in your Warrior 3 before dropping the left foot to meet the right, sinking deeply into a chair pose. For this first visit, see what it feels like to have the hands lifted, palms facing inwards, and feel free to adjust at any point if a different arm variation would feel better in your body. With your next inhale coming up to a stand, we start to balance. Right foot stays, left foot lifts into tree, long spine, active core. Perhaps your branches are growing tall. From tree, give it a try to see if you can step the left foot back into Warrior 2. From Warrior 2, we take an exhale to cartwheel the hands down to the earth, framing the right foot, stepping back to high plank. Holding here strong, opening up the shoulder blades, engaging the core, gazing down. See if you can hold. An exhale lifts you out of this position. Once again, we meet in downward facing dog. Find active strength in this posture. Use the entire surface of your hands and notice the back sides of the legs. Inhaling to reach the left leg up, three-legged dog. Hips are squared down, foot is flexed. Stepping the left foot through, coming to a crescent or low lunge. Reminder that low lunge has the back knee resting on the earth, but in either form we choose, the spine is long, and we do our best to tuck the tailbone under. As we did on the other side, perhaps you'll begin to fly into Warrior 3. Trying with your hands on your hips if that feels best, or allowing the hands to lower to the ground if a little bit more support feels safer and most ideal in your body today. From Warrior 3, the right foot lowers to meet the left right away, coming to chair pose. Again, observe how this feels in the upper body, adjust accordingly, and see if you can sink just a bit deeper. With your next inhale, standing up tall, this time tree with the right foot lifted. Taking your time to ensure your left foot is securely rooted to the earth, gazing at something still, ensuring your breath is deep. From here, we make our way to Warrior 2. Perhaps it's without the foot touching down, or a different transition that serves your body. With left foot forward, we take one more inhale, and exhale draws the hands to the earth, left foot steps back, we hold in plank position. With an exhale, the hips lift high, we return to downward facing dog. This sequence will be visited 2 more times, with our next 2 visits offering different ideas of how you might modify to intensify this for your body. With an inhale breath, the right leg lifts, and we step it through for crescent lunge. This round with the option to pulse. Little movements here, bending the left knee, lowering it up and down, remembering to breathe, getting the knee really close to the mat, but not necessarily making contact. Feeling the muscles in the legs activating. And then with the powerful push into the right leg, we fly to Warrior 3, perhaps this time with arms extended forward. Option here to pulse in the back leg. From Warrior 3, we make our way to chair, where perhaps you take little movements up and down, firing up in the thighs, pulsing. With an inhale, we come to tree. Don't worry, there's no pulsing here. Take a moment to slow down, to ground the body, and to grow. From tree, we step back to Warrior 2, where you either hold the pose still or take little movements lifting and lowering, finding activation in your base. Now perhaps choosing to stay in Warrior 2 or adding on one more pose to our sequence, Half Moon. Right hand to the ground, left arm and leg fly into the air, hips are stacked. From wherever you have been, we will slowly make our way to our plank position. If some extra intensity is desired, keep the right leg lifted and pulse. With your next exhale, lift the hips high. If the right leg was lifted, keep it there for one more breath. And with an exhale, we will all meet in downward facing dog. Moving to the left side, left leg into the air, and exhaling to step it through. Crescent or low lunge, where if in crescent lunge, perhaps you pulse. Small and controlled movements, still deeply connected to breath. Option to stay longer or make your way into Warrior 3. Flying the right leg into the air, perhaps pulsing little movements up and down into the right leg. From Warrior 3, we come to chair pose, sinking deeply, maybe lowering and lifting the hips just a bit to feel extra activation. With an inhale, you lift yourself up, left foot is low, right leg lifts into tree. Observing what kind of branches would best serve this visit, knowing that time after time, this pose can look different. From tree, choosing your transition to make your way to Warrior 2, where the option remains to stay still or finding small movements lifting and lowering, asking for a little more of your left thigh. From here, we have the choice to add on Half Moon. Left hand down, right arm and right leg high. From wherever you are, making your way into plank position, perhaps left leg lifted and pulsing. Exhaling to lift the hips high, and then we all meet in downward facing dog. Reflecting on how that felt, whatever variation you took, noting that this next visit will include twists as a way to change things up. The right leg will lift with an inhale, stepping it through once again for crescent lunge. Either coming to our first variation holding still, the second one where you pulsed, or this third round with the option to find a twist. Drawing hands to heart center, rotating so that your left elbow catches the right thigh. If more twist is available, you can consider opening your wings, Wherever you are, ensure that the back leg is intentional and strong and you are remembering to breathe. Now from here, we come to Warrior 3, maybe this time having the hands in prayer position, seeing how that transition feels as the left leg flies into the air, torso is parallel to the ground. From Warrior 3, finding chair. Perhaps for this one, your stance is wider. Maybe you are pulsing, or perhaps you twist. Hands to heart center, catching the left elbow to the right thigh. Maybe again, taking the option to open your wings. Coming out of your chair, we stand up tall. If tree has been feeling excellent in your practice, please take it. Or maybe for this final visit to a balance, we try something a little bit bigger. Extending the left leg long, reaching for either the left foot or the big toe with the left hand, seeing how straight you can make your legs while you continue to lengthen the spine and breathe. From whatever pose you have chosen, transitioning to Warrior 2. Right leg is bent and forward, left leg is long, with the option this time to extend both arms forward, reaching ahead, engaging in your core. Amazing work using an exhale to either stay or transition to half moon. Right arm is down, left arm and leg high, doing your best to stack the left hip on top of the right. From half moon or wherever you are, our hands plant to the ground, we step back and take a plank with a really high right leg. From plank, we make our way to downward facing dog for our final visit to the left side. Left leg lifts and then steps through for crescent lunge. Taking your variation, perhaps twisting. Right elbow catches the left thigh. We are strong in both legs, long in the back, and soft in the midsection. From your crescent lunge, transitioning to Warrior 3 with an arm variation that works for you. Hands at heart center on hips or extended ahead. With an exhale, right foot lowers, and we transition to our chair pose. Again, choosing your arm positioning accordingly, maybe twisting, right elbow catches the left thigh, perhaps spreading your wings. From your chair, we lift, coming up to our final stand, where maybe tree pose calls to you or a little bit of a larger balancing act. Whichever you take, grow tall in the spine, strong in your supporting leg, and remember to breathe. Making your way next to Warrior 2, perhaps pulsing or staying still, or maybe you come to that extension forward, reaching both arms ahead, engaging in the core. As you next exhale, perhaps you transition to half moon, with right arm and right leg lifted. From wherever you've been, we transition next to plank, perhaps this time with your left leg really high. Then we exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to observe how this visit feels compared to our first. Next up, we slow things down with a deep stretch. Starting on the right side, I invite you to half pigeon if that feels safe in your body. Modifying accordingly to ensure safety in your body. If you feel like taking half pigeon to a notch higher, consider coming to fire log pose. Like I'm demonstrating on the screen, we try to stack the shins. With the right foot resting onto the left thigh, feet are flexed. In whatever pose you've chosen to visit, looking to feel a sensation of a deep stretch into the right hip, connecting to very deep inhales and softening exhales. From whatever pose you have taken, slowly come out of it. Give yourself a moment to rebound and release the hold. Before we make our way to the left side, using that same pathway we did for the first round. Perhaps starting first in pigeon to observe how this feels. Acknowledging if the left side is looking for a little bit more or a little bit less. If coming for more, this time sitting up into fire log pose, the left leg will be on top of the right. Feet are flexed to protect the knees, and we're trying to stack the shins as much as possible. To intensify in fire log, consider dropping the chest closer to the legs. With your next inhale, transitioning out of the pose you've chosen, and then very gently making your way to your backside, setting up for Savasana. Considering how you could make this shape feel ideal for you as you are in this moment. Maybe today there are props underneath you, or maybe, like I'm demonstrating on the screen, your knees are bent, falling into one another. Closing down your eyes, perhaps allowing the hands to land onto your stomach so that you can connect more deeply to the sensation of breath. Very gently and slowly starting to welcome movement back to the body, but remaining with eyes shut. Observing if there are any additional stretches that you desire here, maybe coming along with me to our banana pose. Extending the arms and legs long, we start to make a curving shape in the body. Moving both hands towards the right side and both feet towards the right as well, while hips stay as they are. Feeling a generous stretch along the left side body to deepen, cross the left ankle over the right and place the right hand into the palm of your left. Eventually making your way to the other side when you are ready, with the option to cross your right leg over the left and hold on to the left arm with your right. Inhaling to return to center, and then maybe finding a small ball-like shape with me here, curving the head and shoulders off of the earth as you squeeze the knees in towards the chest. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself from head to toes before gently making your way up to a comfortable seated position. We meet with hands in front of heart center, thanking our body and intuition for guiding us here today. Choosing poses that best served us, we draw our thumbs up to our forehead center, our third eye, our place of wisdom. We inhale our gratitude and exhale to fold forward, honoring our brightest light. Namaste.